Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's recipe video, I am going to be sharing how you can do mash 7 different ways. I'm going to show you 7 different flavors of mash that you can cook. We absolutely love mash in this household, but sometimes it is nice to make it a little bit different each time. And I'll also suggest the best food that I think each mash is paired with. If you're watching this video and you're seeing me for the first time, I would love for you to press that red subscribe button down below. I post loads of different foodie content on my channel, and every single Sunday I post a new foodie recipe or video like I am posting today. So I would love to have you here if you haven't subscribed yet. So with all that said, I'm just going to jump straight on into this video and I'm going to share you flavor number 1. My first mash is this delicious cheesy mustard mash. The ingredients you need to feed 4 people with this mash is 3 large potatoes. You're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of whole grain mustard, 1 teaspoon of either dried thyme or fresh thyme, completely up to you. I've got 50 grams of grated cheese here, and then I'll also use 3 tablespoons of creme fraiche. To make this mash, you don't need any butter or any milk because your creme fraiche is going to act as your milk and butter. So what you want to start off by doing is peeling your potatoes and cubing them up, popping them in a pan of water and letting them boil until they are nice and tender and ready for mashing. Drain off your potatoes and put them back into the pan. That's then when you want to add in your creme fraiche, your cheese, your whole grain mustard and your thyme. Give everything a really good mash together. I also just add a little bit of salt and pepper too, and this mash is ready to eat. I feel like this is the perfect mash for sausage and mash. My second mash is caramelised shallot mash. The ingredients for this mash for 4 people is 3 large potatoes. I've got 5 little shallots here. If you have bigger ones, then 2 will be plenty. I've got some brown sugar, some milk. I've just got some Oatly milk here because we've run out of normal milk, but you can use any milk you like for this. I have got some dried thyme. You can use dried or you can use fresh, and I've also got some butter. So what I'm going to start off by doing is heating a large frying pan. I'm going to melt a knob of butter in there along with my sliced up shallots and my thyme. I'm going to cook those on a really low heat for 20 minutes, stirring occasionally until they're nice and soft and golden. I'm then going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar to that and cook for another 5 to 10 minutes to kind of caramelize all of the onions. While your shallots are cooking, you want to be boiling up your potatoes. So just like before, you're going to peel them and then you're going to cube them. You're then going to pop them into a pan, bring them up to the boil until they have softened down nicely. Drain them off and put them back into your pan. You then want to warm through some milk in your butter and add that to your mash along with some salt and pepper. Give everything a really, really good mash so it's nice and smooth. Once you're happy with the way your mash is, you're then ready to add in your caramelized shallots and then mix everything together really, really well. This gives a lovely, nice sweetness to your potatoes. We actually serve this with sausage and mash, and instead of putting the onions into the gravy, it's already here in your mash. Next up, we have carrot and sweet potato mash. The ingredients for this mash to feed 4 people is 3 sweet potatoes, 3 carrots, these ones are quite large, 2 cloves of garlic, some whole cumin seeds and some butter as well. So what you want to start off by doing is peeling your sweet potatoes and your carrots and then dicing them all up into small pieces. Then you want to pop those pieces into the pan along with your garlic. You want to bring that to the boil and cook for about 12 minutes or until everything is nice and tender. You then want to drain off the water from your pan and then add in your cumin seeds, butter and some salt and pepper as well. Just roughly mash it. This one doesn't have to be nice and smooth. You can have a little bit of texture in there if you want to. That's how we have it, or you can mash it until it's nice and smooth like normal mash, and then it's just ready to serve and enjoy. Next, we have garlic, basil and olive oil mash. The ingredients you need to feed 4 people with this mash is 3 large potatoes. I've got 2 cloves of garlic, a handful of fresh basil, or you can use dry basil, completely up to you. I have got some really, really good extra virgin olive oil here, and I will also be using about 50 mils of milk as well. What you want to start off by doing is peeling your potatoes and cubing them up, popping them in a pan of water and letting them boil until they are nice and tender and ready for mashing. Drain off your potatoes and put them back into the pan. You then want to add in your 50 ml of milk and just warm your milk through while starting to mash your potatoes. You then want to add in your crushed garlic and also slice up your basil as well. Then you want to go in with a really generous amount of olive oil as well. I probably use about 30 to 40 mils of olive oil, but just use whatever you feel looks great. This mash is perfect to serve with some white fish or chicken, and it complements it really, really well. Next up, this one sounds a little bit fancy, but it goes so well with so many different meals. We are going to be making a sweet potato and orange mash with sage butter drizzle. Right, so to make this mash, these are the ingredients you're going to need. So I've got 4 sweet potatoes, but that's because these 2 are actually quite small. I've got 1 orange, some sage, some orange juice, olive oil, and I've also got some butter as well. So what I'm going to do again is peel and chop into little chunks my sweet potatoes, and I'm going to boil them for 10 minutes or until tender. I'm then going to drain them and put them back into the pan, and I want to make sure they're really nice and dry. Then I'm going to mash them up with some olive oil and also 1 tablespoon of orange juice. I'm also going to zest this orange into my pan as well, along with some salt and pepper too. In another pan, I'm then going to melt a knob of butter, and I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of sage as well. You can use fresh or like I've got dry sage here. Once your sage and butter sauce is nicely combined and melted, you are then ready to serve up. So you just want to put some mash onto a plate and then pour your sage and butter sauce over the top. This is perfect to serve with grilled pork chops. It's really tasty and really fresh as well. Next up, we're going to make a simple pea and potato mash. The ingredients for this mash that you're going to need to feed 4 people are 3 potatoes. You're going to want about 100 grams of peas, 50 ml of creme fraiche, and then a really generous amount of Parmesan cheese as well. So again, what you're going to start off by doing is peeling, cubing, and cooking through your potatoes. For the final few minutes while your potatoes are cooking, you then want to also add in your garden peas as well, which will cook those through. Drain everything off together, and then they are ready to mash. I obviously mash my peas in with my potatoes as well because you want them to be combined. This will be a bit more of a textured mash, but that's still really, really nice. So mash the peas and the potatoes through a little bit. Then you want to add in your 50 ml of creme fraiche and your grated Parmesan too. Give everything another really good mash through, and then it's ready to eat. Lastly, I want to share this cheese and chive mash recipe with you. So I've got 3 large potatoes. I've got some cheese, some chives, a bit of milk as well. I'm going to use about 50 ml. And then I have also got these bacon lardons. So these are optional completely, but I just think these completely make this mash even more delicious. So what I'm going to start off by doing is peeling, dicing, boiling, draining my potatoes. While my potatoes are boiling, I am going to be cooking up my lardons, and I will cook them in my air fryer on about 200 degrees centigrade for about 8 minutes. That's all they take, and they'll come out so nice and crispy. Once my potatoes have been drained off, I will then add in 50 ml of milk, my cheese, and some finely diced chives as well. I'll give everything a really good mash together, and once it's nice and smooth, I will then add in my bacon lardons and just mix those through. Because your bacon is a little bit salty, just taste it before you add any salt to this mash. But if you think it needs it, then obviously add some salt and pepper and then enjoy. So that's it. Those are the 7 mash flavours that I wanted to share with you. If you have any other mash flavours you'd like to share, then I would love for you to comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.